Cold sweat trickled down my forehead, sliding along my temples. It soaked into the pillowcase, and the familiar scent of a certain perfume lingered at the tip of my nose. It wasn't the delicious aroma from the dilapidated dormitory in my past life, but rather the faint, soap-like scent my mother, Mrs. Zhao, often used. I raised my hand and touched my lower abdomen. It was flat and soft, free from the scar left by the miscarriage in my previous life, and the deep, bone-chilling pain. My gaze swept across the bedside. A brand new, double happiness character, still creased at the edges, was pasted on the wall. On the table sat a neatly folded red shirt, my engagement attire for tomorrow. This wasn't a dream. I had truly returned the day before my engagement to Lucas. "Olivia, you're awake. Hurry up and wash up. Lucas will be here soon to bring the engagement gifts. Don't be late." Mother's voice, brimming with undisguised joy and satisfaction with the upcoming marriage, echoed from outside the door. I took a deep breath, suppressing the bitterness in my throat and the hatred in my eyes, and managed to keep my voice calm. "Mom, I know. I'll get up right away." This was the very day in my past life. Lucas had arrived with the betrothal gifts, smiling gently, calling my mother Auntie, with honeyed words that made her overjoyed. He had even deceived me with his seemingly affectionate demeanor. I thought I was marrying a distinguished regimental commander who would provide a lifetime of security and happiness. Little did I know, it was all an elaborate deception. He never truly cared for me. He only wanted to marry me because my father had been a former company commander in the army, and his connections could help Lucas advance his career. The educated youth named Amelia was the one he truly cherished. In my past life, I only discovered their affair when I was pregnant, but by then, it was too late. I quickly washed up and changed into a clean blue cotton shirt. Sitting on the heated brick bed, I tightly clenched the hem of my shirt, my fingernails digging into my flesh. I couldn't repeat the same mistakes. In this life, I would absolutely not marry Lucas. I would make him and Amelia pay the price they deserved. I clearly remembered that this morning, Lucas claimed he was going to the army to arrange engagement matters. In reality, he was going to his temporary residence to meet Amelia. That place was a single room allocated to regimental-level officers, not far from the military family compound, and rarely visited. "Olivia, what are you spacing out for? Lucas is here." Mother walked in with a smile, Lucas following behind her. He was in a sharp military uniform, the stars on his epaulets gleaming. His face was handsome, and a perfectly measured smile played on his lips. He carried 2 bags of pastries and a bolt of fabric, appearing warm and reliable. In my past life, I would have been completely smitten by his appearance. "Olivia," Lucas began, his voice deep and pleasant, his eyes holding a hint of tenderness. "Tomorrow is the engagement banquet. I specifically got you this red fabric to make you a new dress." I looked up at him, my eyes devoid of any emotion. I simply nodded faintly. "Thank you." My coolness caused Lucas to pause for a moment, likely surprised by my reaction. Usually I would be shy and joyful when seeing him. He quickly recovered, smiling at my mother. "Auntie, I still have some things to attend to at the barracks. I've arranged everything for the engagement. You and Olivia can just come over tomorrow." "All right, you go ahead and be busy. Don't worry about us." Mother quickly pulled me along. "Olivia, quickly see Lucas off." I followed Lucas out of the house. When we reached the alley entrance, he stopped and turned, reaching out to touch my shoulder. I instinctively dodged. Lucas's hand froze in midair, his brow furrowing. "Olivia, what's wrong? Are you feeling unwell?" "No," I replied calmly, my gaze fixed on him. "Are you really going to the barracks to arrange engagement matters?" Lucas's eyes flickered for a moment, before quickly returning to their gentle demeanor. "Of course. What else would I be doing? Don't worry. I've got everything handled. I won't let you be wronged." "Liar," I scoffed inwardly. His eyes couldn't deceive me. That was the panic of having his secret exposed. "That's good," I nodded, asking no further questions. "Go ahead. Be careful on your way." Lucas glanced at me, likely thinking I was just in a bad mood. He didn't dwell on it and turned, walking in the direction of the barracks. Watching his retreating back, the determination in my eyes intensified. "Lucas, Amelia, your good days are over." I didn't go home. Instead, I turned and headed towards the military family compound. I needed to find Division Commander Zhao. He was Lucas's direct superior and a former subordinate of my father. He was a righteous man who placed great importance on the conduct of military officers. Lucas was currently in the evaluation period for promotion to division commander. If I could expose his affair with Amelia, his aspirations would be completely ruined. When I reached the entrance of the barracks, the guard on duty stopped me. "Comrade, who are you looking for? Do you have an appointment?" "I'm looking for Division Commander Zhao. My name is Olivia. I have something very important that requires immediate attention." My tone was firm, my gaze unquestionable. "Just say that old Company Commander Sue's daughter urgently requests an audience. It's of great importance and cannot be delayed." The guard hesitated. Old Company Commander Sue's name still carried some weight in the army. He nodded. "Please wait a moment. I'll go report it." Not long after, the guard returned and gestured for me to enter. "Comrade, the division commander is asking you in." I took a deep breath, suppressing my nervousness, and followed the guard into the division commander's office. Division Commander Zhao sat behind his desk, wearing his uniform, his face stern and his eyes sharp, clearly the look of someone who had led troops for a long time. "Olivia, why are you here?" Division Commander Zhao's stern expression softened slightly upon seeing me. He put down his pen. "How is your father? Why have you suddenly come to see me today?" "Uncle Zhao, my father is doing well. I've come today to report something to you. This concerns Comrade Lucas's conduct and the integrity of the army. I must inform you." Division Commander Zhao's face darkened instantly, and he leaned forward slightly. "Olivia, explain clearly. What has happened? What's wrong with Lucas?" "Uncle Zhao, Lucas is not arranging engagement matters at the barracks right now," I said, lowering my voice and speaking each word deliberately. "He is currently in the temporary single room allocated to him by the army with an educated youth named Amelia. Their relationship is improper. I know you are currently evaluating Comrade Lucas for promotion to division commander, but someone with such conduct issues is not fit to hold the position of division commander, nor is he fit to remain in the army." Division Commander Zhao's brow furrowed tightly. His eyes filled with shock and anger. "Are you telling the truth? Olivia, you can't just say such things. Lucas is a unified cadre. If there are conduct issues, it's a serious matter." "I am not speaking carelessly, Uncle Zhao." My voice was firm. "I can take you there right now to see for yourself, and you'll know if I'm telling the truth. He's probably still there, thinking no one knows." Division Commander Zhao remained silent for a moment, clearly weighing the pros and cons. He stared at me for a few seconds, seeing the determination and seriousness in my eyes, and finally nodded. "All right, I'll go with you. If this is true, I will not let him off lightly." With that, Division Commander Zhao stood up, put on his hat, and called out to the guard, "Prepare the car." I followed Division Commander Zhao out of the office, my heart completely calm. In this life, Lucas wouldn't have me as a stepping stone, nor my father's connections. Let's see how he gets promoted to division commander and takes Amelia as a second wife. We got into the car. The atmosphere inside was silent, broken only by the rustling sound of the tires on the road. Division Commander Zhao's brow was tightly furrowed, his fingertips tapping rhythmically on his knee, betraying his inner turmoil and rage. After all, Lucas was a regimental commander he had personally promoted, and now he was in the crucial period of evaluation for promotion. If conduct issues truly arose, it would be not only a personal disgrace for Lucas, but also a failure on his part as his direct superior. I sat beside him, my hands resting on my knees, my gaze fixed forward, completely calm. I clearly remembered the location of Lucas's temporary single room. It was in a row of bungalows west of the military family compound, a separate unit. Besides Lucas occasionally resting there, almost no one else visited. This was why he dared to openly have an affair with Amelia. The car soon arrived at the entrance of the row of bungalows. The guard stopped the car and got out first, opening the car door. Division Commander Zhao stepped out first, his face so dark it looked like it could drip water. His steps were quick and heavy. I followed closely behind him, each step firm. "This is the one." I stopped and pointed to the easternmost bungalow, my voice low but undeniably certain. Division Commander Zhao nodded without a word and walked directly forward, raising his hand and knocking forcefully on the door. The sound was loud, carrying the authority unique to a soldier. "Lucas, open the door." There was an instant silence from inside the house, followed by a flurry of panicked sounds and a woman's startled cries. Clearly, those inside were frightened by the sudden knock. A cold smile curved my lips. In my past life, when I discovered their affair, it was the same panic. Only then, I foolishly thought I was disturbing them and even felt guilty. After a long while, the door slowly opened a crack. Lucas peeked out, his hair somewhat disheveled, his collar unbuttoned, and a lingering panic still on his face. Upon seeing Division Commander Zhao and me at the door, his face turned deathly pale, his eyes wide with shock as if he had seen a ghost. Division Commander Zhao? Why are you here? And Olivia? Why are you here? Lucas's voice trembled. He quickly tried to button his collar, attempting to conceal his disheveled state, and instinctively blocked the doorway with his body, preventing us from entering. Division Commander Zhao's gaze swept over his messy appearance, his eyes burning with anger. His voice was chillingly cold. Why shouldn't I be here? Lucas, I ask you, didn't you say you were going back to the barracks to arrange engagement matters? Why are you here? Who else is inside? Lucas's eyes darted around as he stammered. I just came to get something. No one's inside. It's just me. No one? Division Commander Zhao let out a cold laugh. Before Lucas could react, he pushed him aside and walked straight in. I followed closely behind. As soon as we entered, I saw Amelia huddled in a chair by the wall, her hair disheveled, tear tracks on her face, wearing an ill-fitting men's shirt, Lucas's. Clothes were scattered on the floor, along with a ceramic jar that had fallen and spilled its contents. It was clear she had knocked it over in her panic. Seeing us enter, Amelia trembled all over and quickly lowered her head, her hands clutching the hem of the shirt, wishing she could disappear into the floor. Amelia, I said deliberately, my voice calm but laced with mockery. Why are you here? Lucas said he came alone to get something. Why are you wearing his clothes? Amelia's body trembled even more violently. She couldn't utter a word, only shedding tears. Her fragile and innocent appearance, in my past life, would have softened me. But now, I only felt utter disgust. Seeing this, Lucas rushed forward to shield Amelia and pleaded with Division Commander Zhao. Division Commander Zhao, please listen to my explanation. It's not what you think. Amelia and I are just ordinary friends. She wasn't feeling well today, and I happened to come across her and brought her here to rest for a bit. There's really no other intention. Ordinary friends? Division Commander Zhao pointed at the scattered clothes on the floor and then looked at their disheveled state, his voice trembling with rage. Ordinary friends share a room? Wear your clothes? Lucas, do you take me for a fool? You are a unified cadre, about to be promoted to division commander, yet you engage in such behavior that tarnishes the Army's reputation and violates public order and morals. Are you worthy of the Army's training? Are you worthy of the organization's trust? Lucas's face turned ashen, his legs weakening, nearly collapsing to the ground. He quickly grabbed onto the nearby table, his voice choked with tears. Division Commander Zhao, I was wrong. I was truly wrong. Please give me another chance. I promise I will never do it again. I will sever ties with Amelia, get engaged to Olivia properly, and work hard. Please don't cancel my promotion evaluation. As he spoke, he bowed to Division Commander Zhao. The usually gentle and aloof regimental commander demeanor was gone, replaced by utter desperation and humility. I stood by, watching it all coldly, unmoved. In my past life, he was the same. After I discovered their affair, he pleaded for my forgiveness, saying he was just momentarily confused. I forgave him, but it only led to greater pain. In this life, I would never repeat that mistake. Seeing Lucas's pleading, Amelia also gathered her courage and looked up at Division Commander Zhao and me, bowing slightly. Her voice was soft. Division Commander Olivia, it's all my fault. I was the one who came looking for him. Regiment Commander Lucas was I was the one who pestered him. It has nothing to do with him. If you must punish someone, punish me. Please don't make things difficult for Regiment Commander Lucas. Her words, though seemingly pitiful, were intended to imply that Lucas was being pestered by her, attempting to excuse him, and also to elicit sympathy from me. I let out a cold laugh and stepped forward, my gaze fixed on Amelia. My voice was calm but sharp. Comrade Amelia, you shouldn't speak carelessly. Lucas is already engaged. As an educated youth, you should know how to conduct yourself. How could you actively pester a married man? Besides, if he didn't want you to, could you have forced yourself to stay here? My words hit home, and Amelia's face instantly turned crimson. She could no longer speak, only lowering her head and continuing to cry. Division Commander Zhao's face was grim. He said to Lucas, temporarily suspend your promotion evaluation. Stop all work. Go back and reflect. Await disciplinary action from the organization. Lucas slumped to the ground, his eyes vacant, pleading that he couldn't lose his promotion opportunity. I watched him coldly, with no pity in my heart, only the satisfaction of revenge. This was just the beginning of his repayment. Division Commander Zhao ordered Lucas to stand up. The once spirited man now had messy hair, a wrinkled uniform, and looked utterly pathetic. He still tried to argue that it was a moment of confusion, muttering that he and Olivia were getting engaged tomorrow and begging the division commander for a chance to redeem himself. Division Commander Zhao looked at Amelia, who was cowering nearby, and said coldly, "Confused enough to bring a female educated youth back to an officer's dormitory? You are insulting the organization, and you are insulting yourself," Amelia cried, saying Lucas had kindly taken her in. I spoke calmly. "The infirmary and the health clinic are nearby. Why did you have to go to the regimental commander's single dormitory?" Her face instantly turned pale, leaving her speechless. Lucas, however, stepped forward to protect her, saying she had no one to rely on and had it hard. This made Division Commander Zhao's brow furrow. "With the engagement so close, you publicly defend someone else." I looked at Lucas. "If you feel so sorry for her, why did you come to my house to propose and agree to the engagement banquet tomorrow?" He was speechless. I had already seen through his calculations. He wanted to marry me for my father's connections to help him get promoted, and he genuinely liked Amelia, even planning to take her as a second wife later. Division Commander Zhao reprimanded him again, saying he was playing with emotions and corrupting the atmosphere. Let alone becoming a division commander, you're not even fit to be a regimental commander. This matter will be reported truthfully. Lucas completely panicked and turned to beg me to intercede for him, reaching out to grab me, but I sidestepped, avoiding his touch. "We are no longer related. The engagement is null and void. I'm not marrying you." These words struck him like thunder. He exclaimed frantically, "Both families have notified relatives. If you don't marry me, how will I face them?" I replied coldly, "When you were doing those disgraceful things, why didn't you think about your reputation? When you were thinking about getting promoted and taking a second wife, why didn't you think about our family's reputation?" His face changed, clearly not expecting me to speak so directly. "Olivia, listen to my explanation. It was all a misunderstanding." "Enough," I interrupted him. My voice was not loud, but was enough to silence him. "Lucas, I'll say this one last time. The engagement is off. We are completely finished. Whether you become a division commander, marry Amelia, or live a peaceful life, it has nothing to do with me. But remember this, without me, you will never take another step forward." He stood there, his face turning from white to green, then to gray. He finally realized that I wasn't throwing a tantrum or being difficult. I genuinely didn't want him anymore. I had truly pulled away the ladder he was climbing. "Olivia, do you hate me that much?" His voice trembled with unwillingness. I looked at him, my eyes as calm as a deep pool. "It's not that I'm ruthless, it's that you're not worthy." With that, I turned away and closed the door, bolting it from the inside. The frantic knocking, pleading, and shouting from outside were kept firmly outside. Mother stood behind me and sighed softly, but her eyes now held a newfound confidence. "Daughter, you did the right thing. He's a heartless wretch. We were right. From now on, I will never force you again. Live your life however you want." I leaned against the door, listening to the sounds outside gradually fade. I let out a long sigh. The heavy stone that had weighed on my heart in my past life had finally been lifted. Sunlight streamed through the leaves in the courtyard, casting dappled patterns, warm and reassuring. The commotion outside didn't last long before it finally fell silent. Leaning against the door, I listened as the footsteps outside gradually receded, and the last bit of lingering worry in my heart finally dissipated. Mother took my hand, her eyes still red, but her voice was no longer hesitant. "Daughter, don't blame yourself. That scoundrel was heartless. We did the right thing. From now on, I won't look at anyone's status or position. As long as you live comfortably and securely, that's all that matters." I nodded, my heart warming. In my past life, Mother had been the same. Even when Lucas had shattered me, she had always stood by my side. In this life, I would not only live for myself, but also ensure Mother lived a stable life, no longer worrying about me. That afternoon, news about Lucas spread. Division Commander Zhao acted swiftly, reporting the investigation results to the army that same day, and a conclusion was soon reached. Someone secretly came to my house to deliver the news, their tone tinged with pity and some sympathy for me. "Olivia, you've truly dodged a bullet. Regimental Commander Lucas has been officially deemed to have serious conduct issues and moral failings by the Army. His promotion to division commander has been cancelled, and even his current regimental commander position has been revoked. He's been demoted to manage the warehouse and logistics. He's completely finished. I held my water cup, my fingertips cool, but my mind unusually calm. This outcome was well within my expectations. No matter how capable one was in the army, if their conduct was a mess, their career was over. I understand. Thank you for going to the trouble of coming here. I thanked him politely. The person lowered their voice. And that female-educated youth, Amelia? Her reputation is completely ruined. She was originally hoping to rely on Regimental Commander Lucas's influence. Who would dare want her now? I heard the farm has already notified her to prepare for a return to the countryside. She has to leave in the next few days. A faint smile curved my lips. It wasn't that I was heartless. They had chosen their own paths. In my past life, they had stepped on me to climb higher, leading to my family's ruin. In this life, they were merely reaping what they sowed. The news spread further and further until the entire alley and half the family compound knew. The aunts and elder sisters who had previously urged me to marry quickly, saying I was punching above my weight, now looked at me with admiration. Olivia, this girl truly has backbone. Anyone else would have endured it. That's right. Such good prospects, and she refused to marry just like that. Sharp eyes and brave too. Fortunately, she didn't marry him, or she would have been dragged down by that scumbag. There were no more gossips or pointed remarks. Division Commander Zhao's earlier words, "I'll back you up," were not empty promises. His word in the army meant that no one dared to spread rumors. As I walked, my back was straight, no longer carrying the shame of feeling inferior. In the evening, I encountered Lucas again at my doorstep. He was now wearing a plain old military uniform, the epaulets and collar insignia removed. He looked years older, his eyes clouded, completely devoid of the regimental commander's former spirit. Seeing me, he stopped walking, standing a few steps away, looking at me with complex emotions, hatred, unwillingness, regret, but no trace of his former arrogance and calculation. "Olivia," he began, his voice hoarse and dry. I stopped, looking at him calmly, waiting for him to speak. I lost," he lowered his head, his voice as light as a sigh. "I have nothing now, no position, no future. Amelia is also leaving. I have nothing." I felt no pity, no mockery, only a calm statement. "What you chose was your own doing." He suddenly looked up, his eyes bloodshot. "I just don't understand. You clearly liked me so much. In the past, if I was even a little nice to you, you'd be overjoyed. Why did you suddenly change?" I looked at him and said gently, my voice calm but clear. "I haven't changed. I've just seen clearly. I couldn't see before, but now that I see clearly, I won't turn back." He choked, unable to refute me further. "You wanted to become a division commander, marry the one you love, and live a peaceful life." "There's nothing wrong with that," I said, my voice not loud but steady. "The mistake was that you shouldn't have treated me as a stepping stone. You shouldn't have been deceiving me while plotting against me." Lucas's face turned pale, his body swayed, and he leaned against the wall to steady himself. "I know I wronged you," his voice trembled. "I'm not asking for your forgiveness now. I just beg you, please don't hate me anymore." "I don't hate you." These words made him look up abruptly, a flicker of disbelief in his eyes. I smiled faintly, a sense of relief from having completely let go. "I don't hate you because from this day forward, you are nothing to me. Whether you succeed or fail, whether you become a division commander or not, it has nothing to do with me. Hating someone is too exhausting. In my past life, I hated for a lifetime and suffered for a lifetime. In this life, I just want to completely remove you from my life and live lightly." Lucas looked at me intently. After a long moment, he slowly lowered his head and let out a deep, despairing sigh. "I understand. I ruined myself." He no longer pestered me, turned, and slowly walked away, his figure disappearing step by step down the alley. From now on, we were quits, with no further connection. I stood there, watching the sunset paint the sky in warm orange hues. The evening breeze blew gently, carrying a faint warmth. All the pain, bitterness, and despair of my past life had completely vanished at this moment. I turned and pushed open the door to my house. Mother had already prepared dinner, steaming hot and fragrant. "Daughter, you're back. Come eat." I walked over with a smile, sat at the table, and picked up my chopsticks. The meal was simple, but it filled my heart with peace and warmth. Mother looked at me, a rare smile of relief on her face. "From now on, daughter, let's just the two of us live our lives well. We won't rely on anyone but ourselves." I nodded emphatically. This rebirth wasn't about seeking revenge or watching someone's downfall. It was for myself, to break free from the quagmire of my past life, to protect those who loved me, and to live the life I desired. No scheming from a scumbag, no agonizing marriage, no endless grievances. I had a healthy body, a loving mother, a clean reputation, and a life to start anew. This was the outcome I most desired from this rebirth. Outside the window, the sun set and the stars began to appear. The old chapter had been completely turned, and a new life had just begun. In this life, I would live for no one but myself. Peace, freedom, clarity, and integrity would be enough.